Welcome! In today's module, we'll be taking our Ninja sketch and adding color and other details. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn off our silhouette layer and we're going to go back to our original body layer. I'll zoom in and I want to start taking care of these details here. The edges, the sash, all that sort of stuff. So now I'll select two, paintbrush with black, and I'll just make sure that all these are closed. I'll clean some of this up stuff I don't like. Okay, just make sure that everything is nice and clean. Just like that. Okay, and I can check by using my magic wand. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Well, actually, we need to clean this up too. Okay. So now, let's make some channels to connect all these. And select them. Okay. That looks good. So now I'm going to add a layer. I'm going to fill. And I'm going to select a color that I want to use. For this ninja, I think I'll use red. Okay. Now I'll take my paintbrush and I'll go to about an 8. I'll pick my red again and I'll stay on red. And I just need to figure out where the darkest parts of this red thing would be. So right underneath where this sash is going to be, it's going to get dark. Right here it's dark. Over here it might be dark right there. So what I'll do is I'll take my red and make it darker. And I'll add the dark red where it should be darker. Right there it's going to be darker. Right underneath here. Right there. Under here. Back here. And then maybe it gets a little dark over here. And maybe on this corner here. Maybe up around the back of his head it's darker. And maybe on this edge it's kind of folding down a little bit. Over here it's darker. And down here. Now I'll bring my red back to red by clicking the red. And I can bring the lightness of the red up with my slider right here, the S slider. And I'll do the opposite. I'll look for the lighter area. So there'll be a lighter area here. This area here will be light. That'll be light. The top corner there is light. This is light right here. And right there. Okay. Maybe this tip here. Okay. The next thing I'll do is zoom out. That looks about right. I'm going to go to Effects, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'll blur these things together like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I'll go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste into a new layer, Edit, Paste into a new layer, Edit, Paste into a new layer. Okay? Now layer 4, if we look at our layers now, we've got a whole bunch of layers. We know that that's the silhouette and that's the body original, but we're not sure what's what here. Simply click to find out. Alright, so the shading is layer 4. So I'm going to change the name to shading. Now I know that's my shading. That means the rest of these are just copies of this belt, sash, and gi outline. So now I'm going to bring these and crunch them all down. And if I want to make this really flashy, which I do, I'll take and make a white and a line. Make that a little thicker maybe, more than a 2. So about like that. About there. that. Like that. Like that. Then we'll do an effect, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm going to bring it to about a 2. Okay. Now he's got a shiny red belt for his gi. Pretty cool. We'll deselect everything, Control D. We'll take our black paintbrush with a 2. And now we'll zoom in and close off all these gaps that we created. Just like that. Alright. The next thing we'll do is we'll fix the hands. So now remember, I don't want his hand to be completely covered with this glove. So what I'll do is I'll go to my body original layer and I'll select just the hand. I'll zoom in and I can take my silhouette and I can select some kind of a color that's the skin color, whatever I want. So I'll just select this generic skin color. I'll take my paintbrush, bring it to about a 10, and I'll just grab from about here. So if you think about the last knuckle or the top knuckle on your finger, from that knuckle and over. And I'll just go like that. I'll grab the tip of the thumb, like that. We can see here that you got some fingers. You don't need the silhouette for that. You select the body layer. You select this part of the hand. And you do a little bit of this thumb. And you select this part of the hand. And you do the fingers here like this. Leave a little bit of space. Just like that. Turn the silhouette layer back on. Okay. Now let's do the sword. Now, as far as the bottom of the sword goes, I think the black works. But we want to make sure that the blade is how we want it. So I'm going to select the body original layer and I am going to fill it with a light gray. Now I'm going to take my line tool, I'm going to take white, and I'm going to shrink it down to about a 4. And I'm going to bring it across the blade of the sword. Just like that. And that's going to give it a real nice katana look. Sharp edge. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take dark gray. Maybe about a 2. I'll zoom in and I'm going to highlight the edges like this so that it's clear where the sword starts and the hand ends. And then maybe do some like that. Okay? Just to give it some more definition. We'll come down to the bottom of the sword and we'll bring our line size or our paintbrush size down to 1. And we'll make some crisscross lines like this. Okay? And then we'll go the other way like that. And then curve it off at the bottom. Okay. Now you zoom out. And your katana's done. You've got some gloves. Everything looks pretty good there. I think I'm happy with the way he's turned out so far. So I'm comfortable taking my shading layer and crunching it into my red layer and crunching it into the original body layer and into the silhouette. And I'll rename this Ninja. Last thing I'm going to do here for this ninja is I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to give him some eyes. So I've got my layer Ninja and I've got a skin color selected and I'm going to add a layer and take my paintbrush and increase it to about a 6. Then I'm going to fill in this area kind of eyes that kind of go along with the way the mask is shaped. Okay. Just like that. Maybe back further like this. Okay. Then I'm going to take my ellipse tool, or my shape tool with the ellipse. I'm going to select draw filled shape with outline. I'm going to select black as my primary, white as my secondary, and my size is going to be 1. And now I'm going to draw an eye, just like this. If I want to make him look angry, I can always add eyelids too. Maybe make this other one a little bit bigger. Then I'll take my pencil, or my paintbrush with 1, and come down like that, and come down like this. And I'll go and I'll increase the size of it to 4. Like that. Now I'll take my fill tool, I'll select the skin color, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make it slightly darker than what I made this face. Why? Because it highlights the eyes. Then I'll take my paintbrush and I'll bring the opacity of this darker color down, and I'll add some darkness over here. And I'll add a little bit right here, and a little bit on this side. So I'm happy with the way that looks. I can crunch that layer down right into the original layer. And there you have it. A ninja.